Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a long time since I last streamed, or even uploaded a video for that matter. It has been a very long time. I do apologize for that. I need to get rid of that little... Where is that? It's in one of these options here. Where is it? There's a way to get rid of that little X thing. And I'm trying to remember how to do that. Hold on. No flight controls detected. That's probably why it's showing up. Well, 1 second, guys. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it was my joysticks weren't being detected. I had to plug in the power cable to my multi-USB adapter that I have plugged in, and that was the problem. So, give me 1 second. Okay. Let us go, and I gotta pull up my checklist real fast. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's get inside now. Into the quiet. Alright, first things first. Parking brake needs to be on. So let's go ahead and check that out. And make sure... Well, I'm getting some major frame drops. Let me see if I can help with that a little bit. It's probably going to be this right here. That helped a little, but... Alright, so parking brake is on. Batteries 1 and 2 need to come on. So we're going to go up here. And I need, like... Isn't there a way, a little flashlight or something? There was a way to do flashlight. I cannot see it. Oh, well, I think it's... No, the battery had to be on. Doesn't matter. Okay, so batteries 1 and 2. Okay, and sound isn't right. Why is the sound... Normally you'll hear something, but okay. External power is on. Hello, Mr. Drags. You watched my FNC video. That's great. When should I go back? I get alarm saying cabin altitude and my screen fades to black. You're getting hypoxia, and that's because you don't have your cabin pressure set. You have to make sure your cabin pressure is set to your cruise altitude. I think you're talking about the 737, and on your upper head panel is going to be over here. Make sure you have that set to the proper altitude, and you follow the steps to set up your all your basically your entire pressurization. That's where your problem's coming in. Okay, let's see. Ground power, external power. There it is. There we go. Let's turn on my dome light, and we're going to turn the aiders on to nav. Those are all aligning. Okay. Let's get down to the MCDU. No problem, Mr. Drags. Appreciate it. I'm going to keep working, do what I can to help everybody else. I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't able to... Sorry about the frame drops. That was strange. Just came out of nowhere. Again. That was interesting. Major frame drop there. I'm not sure what happened there. Okay. Back to it. We're going to go initial here. We're going to put, we don't have a company route. We're just going to do a to and from. So we're going from Atlanta to Pittsburgh. IT. And we don't have that previously done, so we're going to return there. Flight number is going to be Mike 1001. Cost index. Oh gosh. That is going to be... It's less than... I'm going to say 25. Pretty sure it's 25. Cruising altitude is going to be 350. We're going to align the IRS. Winds, we're going to go ahead and request those. So it doesn't look like we have any. Be a clear, beautiful night for flying. Alright, now we're going to go to the next page here. Get that. Not allowed. Sorry, wait request. There we go. And now we're going to do our flight plan. Now, it's been a little while since I've flown the A320, so bear with me as I stumble through this once again, I'm sure. Okay, we're going to select our departure, which is this right here. And we're going to select departure again, and we're going to be flying out. Let's see what my flight plan says. Now, you know what I didn't do? I didn't set the flight, the weight and balance. Fuel weight is supposed to be 7452. There we go. That is correct. Kink, you got to set cruising altitude before takeoff. No problem, Cameron. Appreciate it. I do my best. All right. So, where was I? Departure. That's right, departure. Let's see. 09 left. So, 09 left. And are we using a star here, or SID, standard instrument departure. And we are, oops. Not what you said, you should be good to go. Just make sure it's on set to auto. Paged T2. Yep, that's right. Put it in temporary. We're going to insert that into the primary. Okay. Next, we're going to, let's see, heavy waypoints. Yes, we do have waypoint. Okay, let's see here. Right here. It is Smith. So SM, you know what, actually, I don't think I have to do that. I think I just type in here SMITH, Smith. Wait. No, it's not Smith. Ah, tricked me there. I wanted to see what I didn't see. All right, that's what it is right there. Okay. Insert temporary. There it is. Okay, now we're gonna do a what you call it? Man, it's airway. It's an airway, like a highway, but it's an airway. That's what I was trying to say. I just could not think of the word. Okay, so Q67. I can't remember if I put it. That's not it. It's, let's see. Again, you know, I'm kind of stumbling through here. Airways 2 Q67. Not in database. Oh, you know what? Q67 is the VIA, and 2 is going to be the Jonin. Yeah. No joke, there's still a lot to learn. There's always more to learn. Things are always changing. Okay. That's what I was looking for. Yep. That's what it was. There we go. Okay, then it's direct, so I don't have to worry about any type of airways to hotel November. Okay, and then to Pittsburgh. So let's go ahead and insert that. Pittsburgh, arrival, and I'm supposed to be arriving on runway 14. So let's find runway 14. I don't know if I really want to, hold on. Let me, I know you guys can't see this, but I'm pulling up the aircraft. Oh gosh, I cannot speak tonight. The airport diagram to see if that's really where I want to, because oftentimes SimBrief will give you the, yeah, I'm not going to run 14, no. No. I'm going to do 10, oh, Iris just aligned. I'm going to do 10 central, or no, let's do 10 right. Yeah, let's do 10 right. 10 right seems like a good one. So, ten right Yankee looks like a good one to use. Are we flying any? That's a great question. It doesn't give me one in the what you call it? Flight plan? Yeah, I need coffee, man. Yeah, that's 100% correct. I need coffee. Let's see if I'm going to be flying. It's wanting me to fly direct from, what was it? HNN, Hotel November. Let's go ahead and use... Let's go ahead and use the whiskey. It's not on there? It's not on there. Oh, this must be an old diagram. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just looking here. You know what, I guess we'll just stick with it. We'll just fly straight in. Okay, I'll insert that. Let's see. I'm checking to make sure this is going to be. Just going to put us in the willy. I mean, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. All right, so we're going to select this. Oop, nope. Return. Clear that. And clear that. Insert. Now we're going to check for any discontinuities or vectors in any of this. I don't see any, so that looks good to me. Let's see it. We'll see if it's actually good. That's for sure. Okay. Now we're going to go performance. Okay. V1. Oh, come on. It's 131. It's going to be V1. It's always 2. No, it's minus VR. So 131. Flaps. Let's see. If we're running, what's our center of gravity? It's important to look at. 24.1. So if we look down here, and 24.1 is going to be about, it's going to be pretty much 1. So we're going to do 1 up. Okay. So back to performance here. Flaps at 2 slash, where's up? OP. I think it's 0.1. Is that how you do it? That is how you do it. Oh, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Oh, it's a miracle. Okay. Clear that. Flex to, we're going to do 40 degrees. Clear that. And next phase, not really going to have anything to do with that, or that. And then we'll have to do that in when we get closer to our approach. Okay, I think that is pretty much it. Let's go ahead and put in, I think this is, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and back to our flight plan. We're going to go back up here. Kill that master caution. The frame rates are just being very bad right now. Let me see if I can remove. Let's see. See, I have to restart. I don't want to restart. How about that? See how it's still kind of like jerky. Which do I prefer, Boeing or Airbus? Oh man, that's one of those questions that's really hard to pinpoint. As a pilot, I'm not a real pilot, but as a virtual pilot, I prefer the new Boeings. So like the 787s. Hey Chris, the 737-900, the 777s, the newer versions of those, 737-800, the Max. Those, I like those. I really love those because they're digital, just like Airbus is, everything like that. As a passenger, I prefer Airbus. So that's kind of my catch-22 is which one am I going to be flying on as? Because Boeing, though it's still nice, something about the way Airbus has their seats laid out and their options, just to me, they're a little more comfortable. But that's just me, you know? Okay, back to checklist here. We're going to test our fire alarms. There it is. Works. 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 Okay. Let's check our... Where is it? Under condition? Or is door? Door, that's where it is. Checking my oxygen pressure. And it's plenty high. Let's see. Where's my... Normal. Hydraulic pressure. It's been a while since I've flown the Airbus though, so I'm kind of like stumbling through this checklist, but hey, at least I kind of remember how to do it. Where's the electrical? That looks fine. Radar control panel's already on. Radar control radio frequency set. I don't have the radio frequency set. I'm not using the radio, so I'm just gonna kind of skip that. Seatbelt sign should be on auto. There it is. There it is. So auto, no smoking. It's gonna stay on because that is going to always be the case. Emergency lights should be armed. Transponders should be on standby. We're going to go ahead and clear all that, and we're going to set it to 1001 just because I want to. And it's on standby. Okay. Squawk set to 1001 now. Okay. Before engine start up, we got to turn our fuel pumps on. Left, on, pump. All those on. Okay. APU master. So APU master switch goes on. Do I ever fly on VATSIM? You haven't had the courage yet. So I'm kind of right there with you, man. Even though I've been flying virtually for a long time, and I used to play back when FSX was a big deal, multiplayer. I used to actually be a tower controller on there a lot. I got very, very good at that, and I used to fly a lot on multiplayer and got very good at that. I'm just very intimidated with the fact that I might fly into a situation and not really know what I'm supposed to do, and I'm going to look like a complete fool. And that's just something I'm going to have to overcome. But I just haven't done it yet. Haven't gotten the courage. Maybe I will soon. Maybe I will. Okay. Where is APU? Flap is open. And starts kind of come on. I'll wait for this to be green and golden. Not actually golden, just green. Yeah, I mean, see, it's like a whole different thing. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's very intimidating. I wish they had like a course or something to be like, hey, this is what you need to know when you're going to do this, okay? I wish they would do that. All right, so we're on, so we can go kill external power. We can go ahead and remove the ground power units. Flight director's on. Into ice is already off. It's on auto, so probe set on auto. Autopilots. Okay, so autopilot. Which one is this? This one. There we go. So we're going to change our initial altitude to 35,000 feet since we're not following controller and we have been given an initial climb to such and such. Then we're just going to go ahead and go up to 35,000. All right, 35,000. Altimeter, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's still 2992. So, engine auto feed fault. Fuel mode select manual. So what? That's interesting. Okay, there's a fault on my fuel feed. That's okay. I overcame it. All right. Pushback. I need to get my pushback set. Okay, let's see. Probably just gonna be just as easy just to go like this. Yeah, let's just do that.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
I am ready now, actually, so you can go ahead and start that pushback, sir.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Nav and logo needs to be on. Okay. Yeah, we're just waiting for the word.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Still waiting.
So connected and bypass been inserted. Release parking brake.
Alright, parking brake has been released and thrust sliders are back to idle. Engine mode is going to be changed from normal to ignition to start. AP bleed's going to come on. Where is that? There it is. AP bleed's on. Engine master switch 2 coming on. Monitoring our... Where's the engine? Okay. Turn it off, turn it back on. Come on now. There we go. Come on. There we go. And we're up. We're getting going. Hey Trevon. How do you update the nav data? So nav data comes standard with the aircraft. Depending on what aircraft you're with, if it's just a default X-plane, it has default nav data. Some add-ons still use default nav data. So the big deal is if you're wanting to add the new, most up-to-date, you're going to have to get some type of subscription or purchase nav data. I use Navigraph. It costs us like $20-something a year, and you get to update nav data all the time. And that's what I use. But it's really up to you what you want to do there. But pretty much you're going to have to buy it. You can do a one-time purchase, but that's going to obviously just be once. You're going to get one update. And that's, I mean, it has its benefits, but at the same time, if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and jump in all the way and just spend the $20-something for the nav data for all aircraft and everything like that. Going to armor spoilers. Flaps need to be set for takeoff, so down to 2. Beacon light comes on. We're going to go ahead and, before I turn that off, I think everything actually is on, so yeah, that's already on. So we're going to go down here, switch back to normal. And we got to turn our parking brake on so we can disconnect.
Disconnecting tow.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Well, if you have Navigraph, go and open it up. What you're going to do is, if I remember correctly, let me see. Let me pull it up real fast so I can tell you exactly what to do here. So you're going to go to, I think, is it add-on mappings? Yeah, add-on mappings. You're going to hit add. You're going to select whatever you want. For example, X-Plane 11 is your default. You're going to add X-Plane 11. Make sure you have the, or you can just do a scan. If you just hit scan, it's automatically going to find your folder, and you just got to make sure you go to add-on mappings, do a scan. You'll see it. Make sure once they're in there, save it, and you'll be good to go there. All right. Let me get back to this. Let's go ahead and turn on my nose lights here. Where's that? There they are. To taxi. It's still the same.
Disconnected. Bypass has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
There's no difference in regards to that. If you have to manually do the data, then you can actually just go and do a custom path to it. So there's that too. Parking brakes coming off. What is going on? What is happening? It's like... What just happened? That was strange. It automatically went to an automatic, basically takeoff there. Oh, you know what it is? That's what it is. Interesting, interesting. 1 second. My throttle was reversed. No wonder it was freaking out. Yeah, I have reversers on, so... No. What? Okay. I think I got it now. Well, that was interesting. Yeah, my settings had gotten messed up when I had I plugged my yoke back in. It jacked everything up. Okay. I think we're good now. I think we're good now. Let's go ahead and taxi, shall we? Gosh. Oh, I can go and kill APU. Don't need that anymore. We're taking off 09 left, so it's going to be... I think it's going to be around this corner. Pretty sure this is 09 right there. Pretty sure. Really getting some low FPS, I should say. And I'm wondering why that is the case. Maybe if I reduce number of world objects. Oh gosh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe that was a bad idea. As you can tell, I didn't do a lot of planning for this stream. I just kind of jumped in. Let's see if that'll help though. Yeah, it's really dropping. I don't know what my frames in the game. It's not what's going out. Going out still 60. So see, that's the big question. I have a 1070, right? And a GTX 1070. It's water cooled, and it really should be absolutely fine with this game. But I've always had problems with my 1070. Honestly, I've not been very impressed with it. And I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's not just this game. It's been GTA 5. You know, getting. I have to keep it like medium settings. It's just I'm not exactly sure 100% why it has been the case, but I'm not the only one who's complained about it. So, you know, I'm on the verge of going out and buying a 1080, maybe even 1080 Ti, just because I'm so sick and tired of dealing with it. But yeah, I mean, it's a money thing though. I don't got that kind of cash laying around. Oh, it's flying. So okay, so 1070 just is in general something's. I don't know how. Maybe it's how they put the cores together or something. It just doesn't process very well. Flight instruments. So I'm using a CH Products Flight Sim yoke for my yoke, and a CH Products, what you call it, rudder pedals for my rudder pedals. I don't have a throttle quadrant. I've been holding off on that mainly because I've been excited for the honeycomb yoke to come out, and throttle quadrant and everything. The throttle quadrant looks absolutely amazing, but you know, we'll see. I'm still waiting for it to come out. It's been delayed and all kind of stuff. So I would love to get one. I'm gonna get one basically day one, get it shipped here as soon as I can, so that I can do a basically like an open box and review of it to see how much I like it or not. But yeah, that is the plan at least. Yeah, it's new, man. It's a new company. Their idea is to provide that gap between your SATEC and your CH products, and you know, those really expensive like 600, 700, $800 yokes and stuff like that. Their goal was to kind of shoot in between to create $200 products, like a $200 yoke, $200 throttle quadrant, things like that. And they look pretty good. They're adding a lot of little features and stuff that look pretty cool. I just hope it's good quality, you know. But Trevon, what's your favorite plane? Oh gosh, man. Favorite aircraft. Okay, let me ask you this. Favorite aircraft? Favorite airplane? Or just anything that flies in general? Let me clarify. Which are you talking about? Airplane. Okay. My favorite airplane. Let me break it down a little bit more. Because yeah, I think there are two different classes. Okay. You have civilian and you have military.
Approaching 09 left.
So which one of those? I'm sorry I have to keep asking multiple questions, but it kind of does change my answer. I don't have like an overall favorite of everything. So I kind of have to know specific, like civilian, military, aircrafts in general, and all that kind of stuff.
Approaching 09 right.
All right, everything's going to come on here. Oh, well, I'm going to overshot that.
On runway 09 right.
Commercial airplane. That's probably... One second. Arrow shape. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Controls are overly sensitive. Overly sensitive right there. Gears coming up. Where is the dome light? I think everything is set now. Auto's on, autopilot 1's on. So I think we're good there. Oh, where's my dome light? Turn that back off. Let's see. On schedule, disarm. Let me go disarm my spoilers. It's already done. Nope, nope. All right, sorry. I think we're good. I think we're flying good. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Again, it's been a while since I've flown the A320. Kind of jumped back into the seat, not knowing 100% what I'm doing. Commercial airplane. What's my favorite commercial airplane? Oh, man. Oh, man, that's hard. I'm going to say the 787, just because of all the technology involved in the aircraft itself. Close second to that would probably be the A320 or A321. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say on that. I'm going to say 787 is going to be the number one. Alright, landing gear, or landing lights, sorry, coming off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain speaking. We're just now passing through 14,000 feet on our way to 35,000 feet. Look, that's going to be a calm flight tonight. No weather or any type of high pressure or turbulence looks like it's in the way, so it should be pretty smooth. Nevertheless, once you're in your seat, we'd like if you would go ahead and remain your seatbelt fastened so that in case we run into any unscheduled turbulence. Other than that, feel free to go ahead and use your mobile devices as long as they're set to airplane mode. Go ahead and secure those larger laptops and such. I'm going to go and turn this fast seatbelt sign off once we hit our cruising altitude. But again, please keep that seatbelt securely fastened when you're in your seat. Anyway, thanks for flying Air Messer. Appreciate your business and hope you'll see you in about an hour on the ground in Pittsburgh. There's my way. There's my talking to my passengers. Let's see here. Dim light on. That's right. All right, dim lights come back off. Past through 18,000 feet now. We're going to go and change this over from our altimeter to our standard altimeter pressure, which is still going to be the same, but it's policy just in case it changes. Come on. Why is it not? It's not letting me change it to the standard. Is there any planes of the Boeing 787 or A380 for X-plane? I know there's an A380, but I think it's freeware and it's not the greatest. In regards to quality aircraft, no, not for X-plane 11. There's not a 787 or a A380, as far as I'm aware. For X-plane, that is good quality, unfortunately. I think I misread your question there, Trevon. You said, are there any plans of a B-78 or A380 plane? You know, that's a different question, and I didn't answer that question. And to be honest, I have no idea. I want to say, I think I saw a post. I can't remember who it was by, but I think there was a post of someone claiming that a 787 was in the works, or they were thinking about putting it in the works, but I cannot confirm that. Looks like it's just gonna be a little bit of, is it terrain or weather coming up? We may or may not. I think it's terrain. Yeah, it's a little bit of terrain. That's fine. We're not in any danger. Soon we'll be hitting our top of this ascent. Not that long of a flight tonight. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this short little fight. Oh man, I'm telling you, words are not with me today. I hope you guys are enjoying this little flight tonight. What would you guys like to see next? See, I'm kind of like in this limbo of what do I really want to do, and which your opinions are very valuable. So please share them. What should I do next? Do I have the Boeing 777 or the A350? I do not. I have the 767. I do not have the 777. I think I was waiting on the 777 V2, if not mistaken, to come out. I believe they were working on one. I'm checking right now. No, doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just that. They do have it though, and the high quality ones, $60. You gotta drop $60 on it. Cabin's dark. Wing stays on, beacon strobe. That comes off. Yeah, I think that's supposed to be retracted as well. Field's gonna come off. Actually, no, it's on auto, so that's fine. It'll automatically change. And dome light comes back off. Set for cruise. Is scenery hard to put in the sim? No. I would say no. It's pretty easy, honestly. All I have to do is download the file, whatever file it is, put it into the custom scenery directory, go into a text file, put the link for the scenery into the text file, and that's it. So it's like a 3 or 4 step process, and that's it. So compared to a lot of other games in regards to putting stuff in it, it's honestly pretty easy. So I would say no. Right now, the temperature in Pittsburgh, which is where I'm headed, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Dew point is 69. The altimeter pressure is 30.20, but I'm not using real world weather, so it's going to remain the same of 29.92. So everything looks pretty golden. Winds are 5 degrees from 180. I'm sorry, from the 180 at 6 miles per hour, 5 knots. So really not 5 knots, 6 miles per hour. Really not that bad. I do not use ATC just because the X-Plane 11 ATC is really bad. That's about that. That's really what I'd like to see them fix the most, is a higher quality ATC. I mean, FSX, with all of its faults, it still had a decent ATC, and that's what I'd like to see in X-Plane. Ultimately, though, I am going to go to VAT Sim, and I already have an account with them and everything. I just haven't gotten the courage to go and fly with them. So I tried 124th ATC. I didn't like it because the user interface, first of all, is poor, and I had some problems with it being correct, and the way that you go about talking and everything like that. It wasn't natural at all. Wasn't seamless. Wasn't simple. It kind of made me get a headache, to be honest. And so I was like, I'm just gonna wait off, and I'll just wait until either they implement one that's in the game that's better, or I'm just gonna go to VATSIM. And I do plan to go to VATSIM eventually. It's just when I go, and it may be next week, maybe next month. I don't know. It depends on how much time I can devote to making sure I understand all the different aspects of VATSIM, how to connect, how to talk, how to interact, certain rules and regulations I need to know before I get in there, and make sure I know how to fly the aircraft I'm flying. I'm pretty confident in the 737 because I did a lot of work on those. The A320, as you saw, I'm kind of confident. I mean, I know how to do it, but it's been a little while. I know how to fly the Cessna 172 fairly well, the Baron 58 fairly well as well. So if I had to choose one to fly, though, in my first VATSIM, it'd probably be the Boeing 737, just because that is the one I have put the most hours into and I'm most familiar with. So I've hit cruising altitude. I am going to go grab a drink real fast. Give me about 30 seconds and I'll be back, okay? And I'm back. Good thing my plane didn't crash and burn while I was gone. So right after Hotel November, I will descend. So I got about 100 or 200, about 200 miles to go, 210 miles to go before I descend. I got a little while, just a wee bit. Get there probably in about 40 minutes or so. As you can see, with the time to destination clock, we got about 319 nautical miles to go before we reach the airport. How do you land a plane in a crosswind? What a great question. The biggest thing when landing an aircraft in crosswind is going to be using your rudder. So as you're coming in, you're actually pointing the nose into the wind to keep you flying straight. So let's say you're straight onto the runway, but the crosswind coming from your right, heading to the left. Ah, crap. Overspeed. That was strange. Why? There we go. Sorry about that. I think it was because it was stuck on. Yeah, it was the wrong setting. I did not pay attention to that. Thanks for the warning, though, plane. Anyway, so coming from your right, going to your left, you're going straight in. You're going to take your nose, you're going to point it to the right. So pointing it to where the wind's coming from. And you're going to use your rudder pedals, your rudder, to position you into it. Exactly. You got to do what you call crabbing. And basically what that does is points your aircraft into the wind a little bit to keep you flying straight towards the runway. Now, you do that all the way up until about 20 feet, 40 to 20 feet off the surface of the runway. Then you got to whip that baby back straight to bring your nose, your main landing gear down straight onto the runway. Because if you hit that bad boy going sideways, you're more than likely going to pop a tire. And if you pop a tire, then you're screwed in a whole different way. Okay, so you're going to want to crab all the way down to about 40 feet off the ground. Then you're going to whip that thing to the straight, and you're going to land straight onto the runway. And you can see, I mean, if you look it up on YouTube, you can see a lot of aircraft, especially those famous videos of, you know, major crosswinds, them crabbing all the way in there, then landing kind of at an angle. It's all kind of wacky. You can tell that, you know, they're facing some heavy crosswinds. And that's kind of what you want to do. Best thing I can tell you is to practice like in a Cessna with about 10 to 15 knot winds, and have it a crosswind, that's going to get you kind of realizing how much wind can affect how you're going to fly in. I mean, usually when I fly the A320 or the S737 coming in, I'll be able to feel winds, 5 knots, 7 knots. I'll be able to feel those actually impacting my aircraft and how it's flying. So I actually will have to do sometimes, and you'll see me do a little bit of crabbing, just a very tiny amount, just putting just a bit of rudder into my aircraft to keep me flying straight in. And that's just because it's not uncommon to face a little bit of crosswind coming in. So, but in regards to heavy crosswinds, that can be a very dangerous and difficult situation. What's up, unknown vegetable? I would ask you a question what vegetable you are, but I guess you're unknown. How's it going, man? Or lady or vegetable, whatever you are. We're about 37 minutes out from Pittsburgh. What's up, Vortex Gaming? How do you make X-Plane look so crisp? Honestly, my settings are kind of mid-high. I mean, they're not really that high. And I mean, that's going to be dependent on your system, on how it's going to be able to, how it'll look. Is taking off in the crosswind the same thing? Yes. It is basically the same process, just reverse. When you're on the ground, you're going to be putting a lot of rudder into your aircraft to keep it straight. And once you get into the air, you're going to actually reduce a little bit of that rudder, but you're still going to use it if you're trying to fly straight up out of the runway. So yeah, it's basically the same thing, a little different in the fact that you're going to be using that rudder while you're still on the ground. Well, Vortex, you've come to the right place. I can pretty much explain everything you're seeing. Well, to a certain point and level. I'm not an expert by any means, but right now we are flying over, I guess we're getting close to Pennsylvania. Yeah. And we're about 35,000 feet in the air. Our airspeed is 265 knots, which is about 300 miles per hour. Our ground speed is 452 knots because of the tailwinds, or the winds that are coming in from behind us and the rotation of the earth and everything. And that's going to be about 500 miles per hour. So we're flying pretty fast. We're going to be landing in probably about 35 to 40 minutes from now. Currently, the aircraft is flying itself. It is in autopilot mode, auto throttle, and everything. We're on cruise. We'll be heading towards our descent here in probably about 15 minutes or so. We'll go ahead and start that descent. This right here is your navigation panel, basically. I'm sorry, not navigation. This is your instruments, okay? This is your flying instruments, basically. This is your navigation panel. This is like a fancy GPS, if you would. This is giving me statistics on the engines and stuff about that. So is this. And that's just replica systems over there. These are backup non-digital versions. Just in case these go down, I have backups. Are you using a special controller? I am using what they call a flight yoke. It's about, this one would cost about 125, if I remember correctly. What is the hardest part of flying a plane? I'm gonna say the hardest part about flying a plane is the landing. The approach and landing is really the hardest part. The hardest aspect of flying an aircraft. Now, in regards to just a plane itself, it's knowing all the instruments and equipment that your aircraft has and how to use it. Just a lot of knowledge that goes in behind that. How much was my PC? Well, originally it was about $2,000. I built it myself, and then I refurbished it because I've had it for about 5 years now. I refurbished it about a year and 4 months or so ago, and at that point it was, I spent another $1,000 put into it. So yeah, it's expensive. You're not good at approaching the 737. Well, I'll tell you this: start small. Start flying a Cessna. Fly a Cessna until you've just become the best pilot you can imagine in the Cessna. If you can nail landings in a Cessna, I'm telling you, transitioning to a 737 will be a lot easier. Don't start with the 737 because it's going to be a pain in the rear to be very good with it. It will. And practice. And look at videos. There's plenty of tip videos out there of, hey, do this, do that. Don't look at your instruments when you're 500 feet above the runway. Look at the runway. Look out towards the end of the runway to get lined up. Watch that throttle. Don't come in too fast or too slow. If you come too slow, you're going to slam into the ground at the last second. Coming too fast, you're going to float above the runway all the way halfway down the runway. Your approach is key. Make sure that you're coming in straight. If you're coming in at an angle or anything like that, work on your turns into the approach. A good approach will lead to a good landing. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there that can help you, but practice is going to be the best. Are you, or do you want to be an actual pilot, or are you playing for fun? I am playing for fun, and I do actually want to be an actual pilot. I'm not one, but I would love to become one. Right now, it's a money thing. I don't have $6 grand to spend on getting my private pilot's license. That's on the cheap side, probably more like 8,000. Unfortunately, and I work a lot, so time and money is a big factor there. you're not good at putting in these SIDs and stars. So, are you talking about the 737? I do have a video on that, which I do plan on revisiting at some point because there's been some updates and I learned a little bit more on how to make things a little easier. So you can watch that video. Hopefully that will help. I do have a full tutorial on the 737 Zebo mod, which if you're going to fly a 737, you need to fly the 737 Zebo. That's just, you need to. So look up that, and that's what I'd recommend. There's lots of info, and there's tons of other videos out there. But I've been told, you can look at the comments of the videos, I've been told it's the best one out there. I don't know how true that is. I watched several others and I enjoyed the others. But people have told me it was the best one out there and it's helped a lot of people out. So it is the most watched video I have. That is going to be a air with the fuel. As you can see, it's low. And that's because the automatic, as you can see, well, maybe it's going to be fine now. Oh, now, of course, it's fine now, after I'm already flying. Mark, why is the FMS so confusing? I'm a complete noob to airplanes and all. I'm a baseball guy. It's so confusing because it's a computer, and you're programming the computer. So that's basically the best I can say, and why it's so confusing, why it is. So yeah, it's confusing, but that it just takes some time to learn it, and I'm sorry it's so confusing because I'm right there with you. When I first started, it was so confusing. I was like, what is going on? But eventually I did kind of figure it out, and watching lots of other videos, I compiled a bunch of information and made mine. You should upload more. I actually forgot about you. I know, man. My life has been crazy, though. You have to understand. I got a new job. I have a house. I'm building a shed right now. It's just my days off. I'm still working on other stuff. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yes, I agree. I should upload more. Is it your flight planner on SimBrief, Miami to Tampa? Okay. If I remember correctly, Miami to Tampa, there's not a lot of waypoints to input. If I remember correctly. But yeah, if you're using, it depends on what you're using. If you're using the FMS, I'm going to assume you're using a 737 because that's what they call it. And the A320, they call it the MCDU. So I'm assuming that you're using a 737. Again, just like I answered Unknown Vegetable, I would recommend looking at that video I already created, as it may assist you. Again, I've been told it's the best one out there. I don't know how true it is, but you know. Yeah, so the Zebo 737-800 FMC and Autopilot tutorial part 1 has over 27,000 views. So you're not alone, Mark. You are not alone. If you know nothing about flying, would you recommend this game? Yes. Yes, I would recommend it. Because you can learn just like everyone else. And it's going to take time, and it's going to be frustrating at first. But once you get used to it and you actually can fly it, trust me, man, you will love it. So yes, I do recommend it. I don't recommend Like P3D is also a good one. I don't use it. That's just preference. FSX is good, but it's old, and a lot of stuff's been having issues with it. So, do I recommend X-Plane 11? Absolutely, even to those who never flown before. If you're trying to load a company route, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. I would recommend doing everything manual, inputting it manually. That's how you're going to learn. We're getting close to our descent now. Closer, I should say. We're about 40 miles out. Yeah, of course, Mark. Of course. It's like I know Atlanta. I don't live in Atlanta, but I have flown through Atlanta so many times, I know it pretty much by heart. The DTG is distance to ground. So I got 160 nautical miles till I hit the ground. Land. Not hit the ground, land. Does it get boring? No offense, but sitting there seems a little boring. I'm not actually considering this game when I get PC, but just curious. So there's different types of flying. You have this kind of flying, which is airliners. And it's exciting when you're taking off and landing, that is for sure, especially landing. A little nerve-wracking. But there's also GA flying, so general aviation. That's a little different. You get to fly around, just have fun, just, you know, do whatever. I'm doing the more professional type flying, but there's all different kinds of flying. There's helicopters too. I mean, and once you're in the game, you can do what you want to do. You can fly around. You can be crazy. You can, you know, crash airliners into the ground. You can, I mean, do whatever you want. Yeah, it's basically distance to destination, Cameron. What is terra mean? Like, I haven't trained mod. What does it do exactly? It shows you terrain. So if I zoom out here, I don't think there's any in the current area. Oh, there's some right there. A little bit of terrain, and it's a certain level. I don't know the exact level that it'll pick it up at. Maybe that's 1,100 feet. So that's what it basically does. It picks up terrain. Let me go ahead and I need to go in here and do should just land in water. So I mean, it's real world modeled, so there's land and water. Oh, no, it's gotcha. Also for weather. That's if you have the weather thing installed. Yeah, it's a separate add-on. I don't have it installed, but it is an option you can install as well. trying to remember. It's been so long. I think I hit this button to descend, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yes, it is the same time. If it's 2 hours in real life, it's 2 hours in game. Absolutely. No, that's not it. Crap. What is it? Oh, gosh. I think that's it. Yeah. That's it right there. Maybe? 137. No, that's insane. Oh gosh, I screwed this up somehow. Oh man. Again, it's been so long since I've flown this. Yeah, I skipped into... Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out, trying to get this fixed. I'm probably just going to fly it manually in. Okay, let's see. Does it simulate bird strikes? Yes. Can you see my flight plan? Maybe. Just I've been in the air for about an hour. This is the A320. And I clicked the wrong button and I did that after I realized it afterwards. I clicked the wrong button. I don't want to climb. I want to descend. Oh, okay, let's see here. Let's see if I can reset this. This is going to be a pain to do. Okay. Not allowed, because it's probably using it right now. I honestly thought that was the button you're supposed to press. Yeah, it's a heavy aircraft. I think I fixed it. I think I fixed it. Okay. Whew. That is very uncommon, actually. If you're better at landing than taking off, that is actually uncommon, but not a bad uncommon. Taking off, you can learn pretty fast, so that's not a bad uncommon. So I did fix it, by the way, guys. I did. And I pressed close to the right button. I wasn't supposed to press that one. I was supposed to press this one. And it screwed everything up. So, yeah. As you can tell, it's been a little while since I have flown the A320. Just a little bit. What do you mean select on the left and the right? It's 5,000 feet. So this seat actually needs to be 5,000 feet. Okay. All right. Yes, it is very dark outside. Oh, what do you select for the SID and stars, what you're asking? And like if you're going to transition through something, that's all based on your flight plan through SimBrief. If it gives you a transition, then use the transition. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Otherwise, if it gives you a SID, use the SID. If it doesn't, don't use the SID. Most will have SIDs and stars. So whatever your briefing gives you, that's what you're going to use. It's pretty much that simple. And having updated nav data is going to help a lot on that. Just make sure you're using that correct nav data that you have in SimBrief in your aircraft. A SID is your standard instrument departure, so it's what you use. It's like a waypoint on your way out. It gives direction for your aircraft, both height, direction, and position. A star is the same thing, but on the approach. It's a standard arrival and approach system, or I can't remember the exact stars, what it stands for, but it basically is the same thing as SID is, but on the approach. STAR, standard terminal arrival route, or route, whatever. That's what it stands for. Bingo, Cameron. So, best piece of advice, taking off. Floor it when you're taking off. Once you get into the air, stay high speed until you hit 250 knots. Keep your speed just below 250 knots until you hit 10,000 feet. Then you can increase it to your cruising speed. Do not overspeed your aircraft, as you will damage it. Once you have positive rate of climb, so once you are increasing your feet, give it about 100 feet. Go ahead and retract your landing gear immediately, and go ahead and start retracting your flaps one at a time, about every 200-300 feet. But you gotta remember, every aircraft is different in how it flies and everything like that. So no, put it all the way up, all the way. Shove it to the 100%. That's if you're doing it manually. Most of the time, you're going to be fine if you do it about 90%. Doing 100% can actually damage your engines over time in real life, but in general, for you, it won't be that big of a deal. So you can just say 100% all the time, you'll be fine. In aircraft like the Airbus or the 737, once you have it programmed in, well, actually, and you do an auto throttle takeoff, it'll do all that for you. But just in general, you can go ahead and shove it all the way. I usually, when I do manual takeoffs, I usually do about 90%, but it's up to you. The big deal is make sure you're not going to overspeed your stuff. Yep, if you're using 737, you can hit the N1 button. That is correct. If you're curving and turning, then it's not a speed problem. If you're curving and turning, then that's a an issue with your control. Probably it's going to be your rudder that you're having problems with. You got to use your rudder while on the ground and taking off, keeping yourself straight. Because if you use your ailerons, so your wing control surfaces, while coming in, then you're actually going to really screw yourself up. When you're on the ground, the only control surface you should be using are your elevators and your rudders. So the things that make you go up and down, and the things that make you yaw left and right, not roll. If you're using rolling control surfaces while you're on the ground, you're going to mess up. So on takeoff in the 737 in general, you're going to use 5 degrees of flaps. So it should be, I think, 3 clicks. Because it's what, set 1, 2, and 5. So 5 degrees of flaps on takeoff. As you're taking off, go ahead, well, every 300-400 feet, go ahead and increase, bring them up. If you're lowering them on the way in, you got to watch your speed. So look up a 737 flap speeds chart, and you'll find them. They're everywhere, and that's going to give you your speeds you need to use your flaps on. Just not over speed them. If you overspeed them, you're going to break them off, damage them, all kind of stuff. So look at that speed chart, see what the speeds are for it, and use that as a guideline. Generally, you're going to want to land with 30 to 45 degrees of flaps, depending on your load. So if it's a light load, you can go ahead and use that 30 degrees of flaps, and you'll come in gliding perfectly. If you use 45 degrees of flaps, that's going to be a heavy load, and you're going to be using a lot of throttle on that. Do I like and watch baseball and or hockey? My wife watches baseball a lot. She's a Braves fan, so I support her in that. I've gone to a couple Braves games, but honestly, I don't watch it that much. It doesn't have a lot of interest. But that's just because I'm a soccer player, so I grew up playing soccer for 13 years, so everything like that. So I'm more of a soccer guy, so World Cup, yeah, I like it. But I mean, I'll watch baseball and I'll watch hockey. I don't have anything against them. I've never seen a hockey game in person, so that'd be fun to go do. How do you know which flaps to use when taking off? So that is all dependent on your load and also the length of your runway. So if your runway's shorter, more flaps you're going to use and more power. That's correct, Cameron. It gives you the basic speeds, not to overdo. Braves do have a nice stadium. They built a new one, Sun Park, and it's amazing. Honestly, it blew my mind because I've been to a couple other stadiums, and I was just like, whoa, this thing is amazing. It is. Soccer. You know, I could say the same thing about baseball or golf or whatever. So You know, everyone has their own preferences. I'm not going to harp on anyone who doesn't, you know, like soccer or whatever. I get that. But, you know, I don't really care for baseball or anything like that either. So, you know, to each their own. And I think that's how it should be. Yeah, you can't take a knee in hockey, that's for sure. Take a knee in hockey, you're going to get a knee to the face. That's what's going to happen. All right, we're getting close in, so we're going to go and activate landing lights since we're passing 2,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and, let's see, bacon's on, the lights on. That should be good. Okay. You're a baseball freak. Hey, I mean, you know, that's completely up to you, man. I ain't going to say you're terrible for liking baseball. Go for it. Again, my wife likes it a lot. She watches every single Braves game, so that she can. I mean, she's at work. That's different, but if it's on TV, she's watching it. I just want to point out, though, the Braves did beat the Yankees twice in the last 3 games, so, you know. Dude, I mean, that's great. But had you actually seen, what's his name? What is it? What is his name? I think it's Abby or Ozzy or something like that. Rookie for the Braves. Man, he is on fire. He came in and, man, that guy could run. He can hit. It's pretty impressive. He's going to have a great career. Yeah, I get that, Mark. Hey, just reference future. Prefer leaving off the curse words in my chat. But just going to warn you, I'm not going to kick you out or anything. Just personal preference. Alright, we're getting close. I'm going to go ahead and see if I think I got it locked in. I'm going to turn on the approach. Wing lights, turn off lights, all that needs to come on. Those two take off. Spoilers and flashes required. We're going to go ahead and drop 1 slats. Aussie Albies. Yep, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, please return to your seats. Fasten your seatbelts. We're coming in the Pittsburgh. Won't be too long and we'll be landing. Oh, I know, man. Everyone loses games. I mean, what can you expect? Hey, Braves lost to the Brewers tonight, so there's that. Why it's not? I feel like it's not gonna. Yep, it was not working, so I screwed up something somehow. I'm gonna manually fly this thing in. Something with what I did in the when I hit those buttons messed up my entire flight plan here. So having to fly manually, but that's okay. You should always be able to fly manually if you need to. Apologize for not replying. I am currently trying to land this thing, so give me a moment, guys.
Approaching 10 right.
500. 400. 300. 200.
Think rate. Think rate.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
right. We have landed in Pittsburgh. After I screwed up the autopilot, and I really had to fly it manually, so yeah, that's why it's always important, guys, to know how to fly the aircraft manually, because what if your autopilot does mess up? And sure, it was user error, but it was to the point where I couldn't recover it. So okay, it's just saying the brakes are hot, and that's fine. I mean, I used them pretty hot that time, so we're good.
Approaching 28 center.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I did try my best in landing it. A little off, but you know, you learn. Change this back. Stand by. Blowers down, auto brakes off. Landing, turn off, strobe lights are off. Nose lights, taxis. AP master, that needs to come back on. That's right. AP master switch comes on. When should you flare? So, most aircraft, at least, you know, airliners and stuff, that's going to be pretty much about 40-50 meters regards or whatever, feet, sorry, 40-50 feet off the ground. And like the Airbus gives you an actual basically it tells you when it says retard, it's telling you to pull your throttle all the way back and flare. That's what it's telling you to do. So APU master start. How should I read the stars and says from the sim brief? What do you mean by how? If you mean like how do you find them in the briefing? Once you've generated the op and you've created the flight brief, scroll down and you'll see like your flight plan. You'll have an alternate flight plan first, and you'll see your main flight plan after that. And if you watch those videos again, it will show that, and that'll probably help you out the most. I go over it, if I'm not mistaken. If I don't go over it in the 737 video, which I think I do, but if I don't, then it's definitely in the A320. Where in the world? The gate's here. I thought I was going to them, but... Oh, I'm going the opposite direction. That's why. Interesting. Okay. I don't know the Pittsburgh airport, as you can tell.
Approaching 28 left.
Yeah, I'm just going to use 28 left and go the opposite direction. Totally not what you should do, but hey, there's no other aircraft, so I'm going to do it anyway.
On runway 28 left.
Yeah, any more questions, guys? We're getting close to signing off here. we will review that landing before I do sign off. We'll go ahead and do a replay and we'll see how it is. Too many questions, you would Google it. Yeah, just watch those other videos, see if those help. If they don't, let me know. If there's something I need to revisit in more detail, let me know, and I will do that. What got me into flight simming? Whew, man. What did? Thinking back to when I first wanted FSX, I think I was 15 at the time. What was it? What got me into it? You know what? I know what it was. I had flown out to Oregon.
Approaching 2.
And
Center.
Flying out there really was like, you know what? This is pretty awesome. So I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, I want to get FSX. So I got FSX. I flew hundreds of hours. I mean, hundreds of hours in there with an old used like 1990s CH Products flight yoke. I mean, I'm talking bare minimum here. And I flew that for a while. Where am I? Oh my gosh. Where are the terminals here? They're way down here. But that's what got me into it. And then I stopped for about 2 years. And I started back playing FSX Steam Edition. And I had always heard of X-Plane, but just kind of like, you know, X-Plane 10, I like tried it and I was like, this is not fun at all. This is like ridiculously stupid and hard to understand, and because the user interface was so wacky. And anyway, so I had stuck with FSX. But then X-Plane 11 came out and I looked at it, I was like, this looks amazing. So I spent the money, I got X-Plane 11, I watched some videos, started flying. That was about, I guess, a year and a half ago. I got it when it came out. So I think it's a year and a half ago. Maybe it's 2 years ago. And I've been flying X-Plane 11 ever since. And I am absolutely loving it. 100% worth the buy. Now, also, I've flown in real life a little bit. I got involved with Civil Air Patrol. If you're not familiar with that, you can look it up. And I got 5 hours of flight time in there. And that was a lot of fun. Learned a lot there in regards to how aircraft fly, and learned discipline, all kind of stuff. Great little program, especially for teenagers and such. Highly recommend it. So I got more interested there. Again, you know, I still would love to get my private pilot's license, but it's just a money thing right now, you know. So someday I will, though, and when I do, I'm sure I'll live stream some flights and stuff for you guys. Really? So something got screwed up on your flights and they had you sit in the cockpit the entire flight. Dude, that is amazing. I don't know what airline or whatever you were flying with, but let me get in one of those flights. That would have been, that right there, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I'm glad you got to experience that. I would love to have experienced that. Alright, parking brake set. Go and kill these lights. And lights coming on. There's 1 and 2 coming off. Seatbelt signs coming off. Smoking staying on. Going to external power's not available. All right. TCAS on standby. Internal everything. Okay, so battery's coming off. And that, my friends, is how you stop. All right, let's go ahead and look at the replay. See how that landing was. Wow, that's awesome, man. That is awesome. All right. Thing about the A320 is maybe I need to update it, but they hadn't fixed the sound and replay yet. I'd like for that to be a thing. I'm a little off-centered when I land, I know that. So it's been a while though since I've flown the A320, so give me a little bit of grace on that. That was pretty good, pretty smooth. Not bad. Not the worst landing, and not the best. Anyway, fellas, I need to go to bed. I need to get some rest. I got some work I have to do tomorrow. Appreciate you all tuning in. I will be sure to do some more flights and upload some more videos as soon as I can. Again, I have a very, very busy schedule, but I appreciate you all tuning in. I appreciate you watching. Those who have watched after the fact and not live, I appreciate you watching. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time. Hopefully. Bye-bye now.